I'm drinking a Mirror Pond Pale Ale.
A little PBR, keeping it lowbrow. Yeah, buddy.
We got 2. Oh.
That's how I roll. This is like my second beer in over a year. Like literally. I had a Coors Light a couple weeks ago and it's weird. Are we on?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We can just start it like that.
Very good. What is today, though?
February 19th,
Wednesday,
2020.
At 6:09 with Greg.
It's been a long time since the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
Was it like fall?
It was me and you and your buddy downstairs.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Let's see here. I'm just going to check our topics for today. You wanted to...
Because you've been posting stuff about working
science.
out on Facebook.
Yeah.
And,
Science.
You know, I'm always into something for working out, so I wanted to talk about that a bit, change it up, because there's only so much science. There's not a lot happening right now.
Apparently the internet, everybody has an opinion, and it's like, what do you believe kind of deal.
Yeah, so that's why bro science and
cool.
Nutritional science, and it changes all the time.
It does,
and there's no definitive.
Like one decade, eggs are bad for you, and then they're good for you, and then they're bad for you, and then they're just
coffee's good for you. I think it's on good right now.
Yeah, I think coffee's good for you. Everything in moderation, apparently. Go figure.
Yeah.
So are you still doing the CrossFitting?
Nope.
Oh, nope.
Dude, I'm coming up on 2 years of not CrossFit.
What? Like, what are you doing to
lift weights,
be healthy
and run and stuff?
Yeah.
I use the Peloton app, so I do like the Peloton bike or run the Peloton classes. And then lately, I got to put you onto this really quick. So I got this Oculus Quest. It's the wireless VR.
Sure.
And it's a mobile chipset that doesn't need a computer to play. So I'm like checking out what the experience is, because I've been big into VR since 2016 when the Vive came out.
I still haven't seen your setup downstairs.
Jesus. Okay, well, I got to show you that. But this... I was like, oh, cool. Thrill of the Fight. It's a boxing game. And there's like Creed and some other like Dance Dance Revolution kind of boxing. But Thrill of the Fight, everyone's like, this is the simulator boxing game. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'll check it out. And I shit you not, it's just like if you put me in a fight right now, I'd have no idea how to pace myself. You go full out.
So this is like boxing,
jab,
right?
Hook, jab. And then you're like, oh crap, I'm tired.
I'm tired. How do these guys do it for 10 rounds, right?
So, yeah.
While they're getting hit.
It starts out and it's like versus a dummy, and you got like your coach, or I call him Dad.
Yeah.
But he just sits in the corner and gives you the little thumbs ups and stuff. And you start out in like a crappy gym, and legit, like you hit them in the side or the chest and chin, all the good points, right? You can see them get like rocked a little bit. And how hard you swing is how hard it hits.
That was my next question. Like, does it know like how hard you?
So it took a little bit for my joints to get used to that, because obviously you can't fully extend your elbow a bunch of times.
Yeah, because there's no resistance to your end.
I mean, you have the controllers in your hand, which is a little bit, but that's like what, 2 ounces versus 10-ounce gloves or whatever you're gonna wear. So anyway, it starts out, it's like a few 2-minute rounds, and then I beat 3 different people in matches, and it's not multiplayer like computers. And then I moved on, and it was like an exhibition match in like a stadium, and it's like everyone's screaming. And there's spotlights. And
are there ring girls holding up like the numbers?
There's just like a lot of chicks. Just
I'm in.
So then, like, it's legit hard workout.
Yeah.
So I was curious about this, like the metrics of this, because obviously I'm sweating my ass off.
Are you tracking your heart rate with your
so I put a heart rate strap, chest strap.
Yeah,
on.
I got one of those.
Right, and I got the Garmin Phoenix thing, so it logs it all. And I was like, man, I'm getting gassed. Like, when the round ends, I'm not here, clack, 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 and I got the 10 seconds, and I'm just going at the dude full out. When I'm done, I have to, like, hunch over in my corner.
You should have, like, these stools down there.
I should.
Yeah.
I basically kind of just, like, sit on the edge of my couch and pretend that's the stool. But then, it's like 30 seconds, start the next round. So, I've only lost one so far. I got knocked out. I rematched the guy today and beat him. But
are you playing people or computer?
Computer. It's all computer.
Yeah.
But it auto changes your hits. So if you swing really hard, it knows that's your baseline heart. But if you get less and less, then it's like it'll scale with you. So it's always a challenge. So you can't really cheat it.
Yeah.
And I was okay. So I'm 3 full matches in. I already beat 2 other boxers.
Yeah.
Now I'm fighting this guy again, and dude, I was like swinging, and I see like the light blue kind of shadow when I hit him, which means I didn't hit him super hard. It's like orange and red.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, yeah, and I'm just doing huge like, fucking haymakers.
Yeah.
And dude, like, I finally knocked him out, and I remember like he knocked me out first.
Yeah.
And then it's like the last round is 4 rounds of 3 minutes each, so it keeps going up. And I did a half an hour of boxing tonight.
That's heavy work. I mean,
it's heavy work.
Just hitting a heavy bag for half an hour for 5 minutes.
Well, you know how many, if you're in a fight, how many punches you throw fast?
Yeah.
And then you like dance around and you punch. I wasn't taking my time. So anyway, I knocked the dude down, and I was so excited. I finally beat him. I was like, yeah, that's right. I like did the whole like
talk to the smack.
Standing over him. And then like they announce it, and you put your glove up and all that stuff, and everyone's cheering, and my dad's all happy in the corner. So
yeah, it's a workout.
So then I looked at the stats, right?
Yeah.
My I got it right here actually. It said the last workout. Oh, come on, is it right here? Give me a second anyway. But it was basically my heart rate gets maxed out if I go full out at the end of the round.
Okay.
So like 180 something.
So yeah, so I guess I can compare contrast that with my app. I use the MyZone app, and I have a heart monitor.
So today it was 33 minutes.
Okay.
522 calories. Average heart rate 162 for the 32 minutes.
Okay.
And I hit 182.
Dude, my maximum heart rate is 184.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
And it shows my aerobic and anaerobic increases with this is the Garmin stuff. But it says I was above my VO2 max. So for like playing a video game in my living room.
That's better than sitting on the couch eating potato chips.
Right. So I just, it's fun. I've been doing the running thing and lifting, but doing VR boxing is fun.
Does it, see, mine graphs it based on my effort.
It can do that stuff too.
Okay. Okay, so that's pretty similar to me. So if I do like 40 minutes on the treadmill. Okay, so let me just take a quick look here. And okay, so
but yeah, if you're interested, it's on Rift, it's on Vive, Steam, Oculus
That's
Store.
A good
it's called
workout,
Thrill of the Fight.
Thrill of the Fight. That's a good workout.
Dude, I'm gassed. I feel like I'm ready to go to sleep in an hour or two.
That's the same as if I like almost run or walk as fast as you can possibly walk for half an hour, and I'm sweating.
Yeah,
on the treadmill.
I was soaked. Like I had to buy the silicone insert for the face thing.
Yeah,
because I didn't want to soak the thing.
Well, that's a good workout then.
Yeah, and what's cool is like if I'm hanging out with the wife friend in the future
wife,
and like I got a fender on her and I just deck somebody and drop them, she's like, "Damn, VR boxing." He's been training for a while. He's gonna be like telling,
"Dude, my fiance's like VR boxing champ. Watch out."
He's been boxing every day VR.
So that's funny because so I've been a bouncer for like forever. I've been a bouncer like 20 years, and I've legit been in probably over 100 bar fights, honestly. And I don't, bouncers we're not supposed to hit people. That's generally frowned upon because, we're not supposed to strike people. We're technically by law, we're no different than the average guest in a bar. Sure. We don't have any special privileges, no authority. We're not legally allowed to do that. We're allowed to defend ourselves with the same amount of force that comes at us. So if some guy pushes you, you can't straight back and clock him in the face and knock him out.
Rules, right? Yeah. You hit me, I can hit you.
Yeah, that's why we have to be hit first. So that's why I'm really good at mocking people and pushing people's buttons.
You tuck the chin in when you're doing that?
No, actually, I get right up on their face, and I invade their personal space. Because if you get right in someone's face, like within you could put a beer between you, they're either going to do something or they're not. And if they don't, you realize then it's all just talk. But if they do, they're going to do it, and then you're too close to them. You're like I'm literally right up in their grill. They can't hit you in the face like that. You have to have a striking distance.
Yeah, that's true. You're basically in a grapple by them.
Yeah. And that's the strength I play too. So I've taken away their opening hit or whatever. So we grapple. We grab people, we put them in submission holds, we get them on the ground, and we overpower them with sheer numbers. That's generally how you technically do that, but most of the time you use your voice and you talk people down, and so that's that. So in a real fight, you're not going to go back and forth for rounds and rounds and rounds. You're going to get hit once. Yeah. And if it's a good hit, you're probably going to go down, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Because most people don't get hit in life. Like,
No, and that's
don't.
good. We're not savages.
We're not savages. I've been hit a couple times. Nothing major, but I've never been like super clocked. I've never been knocked out, anything like that. I have not. And I've not knocked anybody out either. I've taken their shoes off and smacked them in their face with their own footwear before, which is awesome, but I've never actually knocked somebody out.
Yeah. Because it's dangerous, man.
You can kill somebody. And it happened a couple years ago at, I don't know if this bar, I think it was Legends or something. A drunk guy hit another drunk guy. He hit him once, and he fell down. He hit his head in the curb, and he died.
Yeah.
And the guy was charged with manslaughter. Just for a punch, just for a bar fight. People don't realize that.
Well, punch is serious.
Punches is serious. You can punch one person and you hit him in the temple hard enough, you can kill them.
And if you don't, you're giving him some form of brain damage.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's people see, these movies where guys are going back and forth, they're blasting each other, and the MMA fighting. That's the movies they're movies for one, so that's not real. And then the MMA fighters, they're professional fighters for one. They train for that, and they have gloves.
But they still get their CTE and die and get crazy later in life.
They still get messed up.
Yeah.
And, if you're hitting someone with knuckles, for one, and you're hitting someone that is not used to getting hit, and you hit them and you connect, you can really mess that person up.
Yeah.
And then you're open all kinds of liability for that. So people just don't get that, I guess. So
that needs to be very serious.
It does. Yep. So anyways, so it's back to the...
so I'm a boxer. That's what I was telling you.
the health stuff. So that's the cardio. That's cool. Yeah. And I started doing cardio. I've been at the gym for almost about 9 months now. I signed up in May 1st. My membership expires. So
when did you start going regularly though?
Okay. So I didn't start going regularly until about, 3 months ago.
Okay.
So I just started off, I would go like twice a week, and I would do the treadmill for like 30 minutes. I felt good about myself. I did the gym. That doesn't really count.
Doing something, though.
It was something.
It's how you have to start.
It was something. It was better than nothing. And then I realized, well, that's not really working. So I went more. I started to go 2 or 3, and then I'd go 5 days a week. But I wasn't doing any lifting. It was just hop on the treadmill, do 30, 40, up to an hour of intense walking. And I'll listen to music, or I'll watch like anime on my phone while I'm there. That's cool.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I really need to and I plateaued. Like nothing was happening, was losing weight anymore. So I was like, I really got to start incorporating lifting into that. So one of my friends from back in the day, from Best Buy, Trisha Dre, she's a personal trainer at Anytime. And I paid her for 5 sessions, and she's given me 4 sessions. So I have 4 routines now. So I've got just one for upper body, one for core, one for lower body, and then like a mix. Mm-hmm. And then on Monday I do one routine, then Tuesday and Wednesday. And each day, I didn't go to day because I went Monday and Tuesday. Man, I hit it hard. Like I really went at it, and I maxed out all the weights, and I sore as hell today. So I was like, I'm gonna hurt myself. So, but I try to go like 5 days a week and lift. And I stopped using the scale as like a judge when you're losing weight.
When you lift, it doesn't matter, man, because you can spike up your carb intake. Like you can get bloaty when you lift. All the stuff changes.
All the stuff. So I had to change my entire diet around, because about halfway through of the gym, I switched from keto to normal eating healthy food and carbs.
No energy, man.
As I drink this beer. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way, I am stupid tired, and I've done boxing 3 times this week.
Yeah.
Stupid. Like sore.
Yeah.
Like my back, my lats, and my shoulders.
Because it's new to you. Like, it's new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go hard.
Good.
Dude, I'm 9-1.
Record indicates health. Like you have to get your heart rate up though. That's what burns those calories, and burning calories is part of it. But the scale when you're losing weight and you're not doing any lifting, it helps. Like, oh, I'm losing weight, that's cool. But I shifted my entire diet around, and when you lift, the scale doesn't really help because you're gaining muscle too, and that goes you gain weight. So it's kind of an oxymoron. You can't lose weight and then gain muscle. That doesn't work. It's two different things. They're mutually exclusive.
When I did CrossFit, like the first 5 months, first few months I didn't lose really any weight at all. But my pants were fitting better and better.
That's the thing.
So it's a body composition change.
That's what they say, that you should measure yourself in certain areas and then use that. Also use how you feel and how you look in your clothes. And I can tell I look differently in my clothes. I'm not like some swole beast or anything, but when I'm at the gym and I'm lifting weights and looking around, I'm like, oh, I look different. I can tell that I look different. And I feel different. Like I feel more confident in general. I feel like more outgoing. Like the world is my oyster, and like I'm just.
Well, dude, it's better than any antidepressant to work out. Yeah, like you can just feel great.
I sleep like a fucking baby.
Yeah.
I wake up at the same time every day without an alarm clock. I generally wake up at 5 o'clock, and then I wake up at 7, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sleep for another hour, just REM sleep and dream, and then I wake up at 8, and then I get up. So I generally go to bed around 11 or 12 o'clock throughout the week, and I get a solid 8 hours of rest, which is also important. I don't try not to drink during the week too much. Obviously, I'm having a beer right now, but I try not to drink throughout the week. Maybe like on Thursday we do bingo, so you know, have some drinks for that. But
I mean, it's good to. We're celebrating. We haven't done a podcast in a while.
It's been a while.
I haven't had a beer in a long time.
It's been a while. In the MyZone app, so for those that participate in that at the gym, because not everybody does that, but for those that participate, it ranks you on the board. So it, assigns you a number, and it's a motivator for me. I have a friend of mine, Michelle. She's my neighbor, and she's a buddy. I've known her for quite a while, and she goes to the gym a lot. She's there all the time, and it really helps motivate me because she's literally number one right now with like a bullet, and she's just smoking everybody.
Well, I want to get in that gym. Give me the
Anytime Fitness at Edgebrook.
How much is that?
I think it's like $400 a year. I pay for a year. 400 it's like $40, $35 a month.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Dude, and in the time now where like Orange Theory Unlimited, CrossFit Unlimited, or Peak Fitness, CrossFit equivalent, all of those are over $130 a month each.
Oh, that's way more than I pay.
You can go as much as you want for $160 a month for CrossFit. That's why I started with CrossFit.
Way too much. That's insane. Like Peak, okay, so like to rank the gyms, just like the major. So you got Planet Fitness to start, right? It's $10 a month. It's no commitment.
Free pizza though.
That's oh my god, that's strategically awesome marketing. Don't get me wrong. And you put the pizza there, and like really,
it's for people that just don't care.
That's just terrible. Like honestly, that's like having alcohol at an AA meeting. Like it's ridiculous. So I tried that many years ago. I tried that, and it's for the casual gym goer.
You want to get on the treadmill.
You get on the treadmill, hop on elliptical, make a friend.
Get some of those awesome purple Tootsie Rolls on the way out.
Everything's purple there.
Dude, I would grab those Tootsie Rolls, those grape ones or whatever they were on the way out, and I had a whole bowl in the house for a while. It's like, these are for guests.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to buy them, so I just take a huge handful every time I leave.
Oh my god! And they have tanning there too. So if you like to tan, it's actually cheaper to have a gym membership for tanning than a lot of people do.
You have to do the $20 a month.
$20 a month. It's still cheaper than just tanning.
It's weird.
So if you want to pay for skin cancer, it's the cheapest way to do it.
I belong to Peak right now.
Yeah, I don't.
And
so okay.
I go to West Side Peak.
What is that? Perryville?
State.
Is that East State?
I go to State.
State, yeah, okay.
I hate Perryville because their weightlifting setup is asinine. It's not laid out.
I've never been in there. I take that back. I've been to the pool once with a buddy, but that was about it. So, so if you got Planet Fitness, and then you got Anytime, I think would be the next up to scale as far as like, are you serious about lifting? But you don't want to go to Peak. You don't need like 1,000 machines. You don't want to go to the pool. You're not there to look cool.
So that's what Anytime is like. It's like you go there, and is it more like focused as far as like?
I see a lot of the same people with a lot of the same routines on a lot of the same days. So there's a lot of people that are dedicated to doing the thing, and it's just big enough for me. And there's enough people there that I see. I don't talk to really anybody at the gym. I hate that. Like, just leave me alone. There's one creeper there. This whole old freaky guy who wears jeans and like.
There's this potbelly old like bodybuilder guy who has long hair and he looks like a crackhead at the one I go to. And he talks to everybody.
Yeah, the same.
He's looked at me. And I'm just like,
it's probably the same guy. Does he have wildly gray hair and glasses? And
and like square up glasses.
Does he have a comb in his back pocket most of the time? It's probably the same character. It's not the same guy. It's the same type of guy. He's
very portly.
This guy's not portly. Like, but if you're wearing jeans at the gym, I'm not taking you seriously. Like, he mostly just sits around and creeps on people. It's terrible.
It's weird.
It's so terrible. He tried talking to me once when I was in the middle of a training session with Trisha, and I didn't have my earphones in, so he's like, "Oh, I can talk to him." And I was like, "Yeah, nice." He goes, he said, I trimmed my beard last night, so I'm not as strong today. I was like, "Okay."
You're like Samson joke, huh?
I'm like, seriously, buddy. I'm like, okay. And then he called me an asshole under his breath. He goes, asshole. I'm like, okay, well, at least you don't like me. Maybe you'll leave me alone now, kind of deal. So I like watch him. He chats up people like all day at the gym. Like they're just trying to do their thing. And he talked to this guy on the treadmill for a solid 30 minutes while I was doing the treadmill. I'm like, dude, people just can't say no.
I bet people complain about it.
Well, they should man up and like not talk. Take it up on yourself. Seriously. So Anytime Fitness is I enjoy it. I think the price is fair. The trainers are great, and it's literally less than a mile from my house, so it's super convenient for me.
Where's it at?
Edgebrook.
It's in Edgebrook?
Yeah, it's literally Edgebrook.
Okay.
It's
That's
just
cool.
less than a mile, so that's super cool.
I might check it out if it ever changed. But I think I'm back to just I work out here. I got the weights and the treadmill and stuff.
I had all the stuff at the house. I had the treadmill and all the gym stuff, and I never used it because I just never used it.
When you're around people that work hard, you work hard. It's kind of nice.
It's true. So I sold all my stuff on Craigslist. Actually, all the equipment actually went pretty quickly. All the weights sold real quick. And I vowed never to buy personal equipment like that ever again because I don't use it when it's at my house.
Right.
And then I guess the top of the scale would be Peak Fitness. So it's like the hardcore, like I'm a super gym person, and that's the thing kind of deal. Yeah. Not that you can't be that anywhere else. And so
I'd say CrossFit is above that for people that are just like they want to go hard, because most people are scared of CrossFit.
And then, I would consider like a niche thing, like the niche gyms, like the small, like mom and pop gyms, which there are still quite a few of.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Asylum and stuff.
Like there's No Joke MMA, which you might consider down the road once you get your boxing title from that. You can actually join up a gym and do actual legit cage fighting. Like
but I don't want any impact.
They're gonna hit you. They're gonna hit you back.
Yeah, like no, that's stupid. Yeah. Like I don't want the impact in my head. You're gonna if there is no consequences, that'd be kind of fun.
It's a different type. It's self-defense class is what it is. Right. So kind of for all. I
got a whistle
for all those. Got a whistle. I got a 9mm. Fuck your whistle. Whistle. Wee wee. I'll be pop pop pop. So so that's the gym stuff, and half of that the hardest part. It's not the gym really. It's eating properly. Like
dude, eating's everything. So if you wanna lose weight, it's all in the kitchen. If you wanna look good naked, it's the gym. You
got to get that protein in there too. Like I try to match 1 gram of protein per pound of day. So I'm weigh 225 now. So I try to get over 200 grams.
That's pretty high. Are you saying per lean body mass or body weight?
Per pound.
Oh,
like if
body
you
weight.
weigh 200 pounds, you want 200 grams.
That's pretty high.
Protein.
But I mean, you can filter out extras fine.
I have these drinks I get from Sam's. They have 30 grams of protein per drink, and they're actually pretty good. I eat a lot of eggs, like cottage cheese.
As long as you hit 100 grams, you're good.
I'm averaging about 180.
The thing is, if you're eating more than that, it's going to help anyway because it's going to help you feel full.
Yeah, I do feel full. Yeah. So the diet is super important. I eat a lot of supplements and just lots of water.
I eat a lot of eggs because the ladies help me with my gains.
So I actually looked into to switch gears. I think we've probably sorted the exercise stuff out. I looked into that's a perfect segue actually, the chickens, because I wanted to talk about prepping kind of deal. And the chickens, and I looked into the legalities of that in Rockford. Super not legal.
Well, I don't live in Rockford, so
are you considered county?
Yeah, I don't live in Rockford, so of course it's legal.
Since they're not real chickens, anyways. So they're not even considered pets. You just can't do it. So and if you get caught, it's like $75 fine a day ish. So I was literally looking into doing a coop and all of that.
I did the math on how many chickens you would need to outpace the $75 fee. So if you could still sell $100 worth of eggs a day,
oh my God,
it's worth it to pay the fee.
A chicken farm. I think at that point they might come in a little more hard at you.
Nope, not if you have a lawyer. Right there,
you're paying for lawyer fees. Damn it, I want these chicken eggs.
Then I gotta expand more eggs.
Oh my God,
chickens.
it's like the chicken and the egg.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun. So I was looking into eggs, not just because I want cheap eggs, but as a sustainable food source, when the apocalypse comes down kind of deal. So I don't know if you've been following it, but I've been following it daily, the COVID-19, the coronavirus that's straight out China from Wuhan, Hubei province.
I don't know if we can trust the media on
I don't either, for one.
If it was way worse than it is, I feel like they still wouldn't.
Well, you got to imagine that it's not in China's benefit to report accurate numbers because that's terrible. They don't want people to know that people are really infected. So they say that there's about 60 to 70,000 people infected. That's what they say. But who knows?
Isn't it like a week or two incubation period with this thing?
It's like the common cold, basically. It's very similar to that.
In the last 2 days, they're like it could be 20 times more potent than the common cold.
It could be. It's resistant to all forms of vaccination and stuff like that. So it's like the flu in that regard. The common flu kills hundreds of thousands of people a year every year.
Yeah, but the common flu is like 0.2% lethality.
Yeah.
And this one's like 2.
It's good number. There's 2% lethality. So I did some kind of basic math on the way over here. So let's say China has more than 1 billion people, obviously, but let's say they have 1 billion people. So let's say that it's got a 2% mortality rate, right? So what if like 100 million people like got infected over there? And let's just say that's like 100 million people. So like 1/10 of their population, right? So, what's and there's a 2% mortality rate out of that. So that's 2 million people die, right? So 2 million people. That's terrible. That sucks. But that's not humanity ending.
It's not plague level.
It's not. But let's take another look at it in a different manner. So 2 million people die. A lot of those people are going to be the healthcare workers because they're frontline and they're dealing with that, right? So that inherently weakens your overall healthcare structure, essentially. But what else does that do? That takes their entire economy and just like stops it because people aren't showing up to work now. Food is stopping.
And China, of all places, man, they're the number one producer in the world
of stuff.
So,
like of stuff.
Everything Americans have.
Everything. So 2 million people die in and of itself. That number, that's bad. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of deaths. But it's going to have a spiraling effect on China and what it's capable of doing, and then also the global economy kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because then people aren't showing up to work, and then more people are getting sick because there's less healthcare workers, and then it's just going to like shut in that society. People are just going to like shut in. They're going to avoid people. It's already happening. I've read reports on how there's essentially gangs and stuff roaming the streets that just like lock down their provinces. Like you can't come in here.
In China?
In China, absolutely. Yeah. And this is from people that are reporting stuff, and I don't know if it's true or not, but China obviously doesn't want to have those numbers come out because it's not going to help them. I will say from they built a hospital, like 1,000-room hospital, like 10 days.
Yeah.
Like they got together and said, we need to do this.
Legit, they did not pull permits and they did not do inspections. Just saying.
No, they said get it done. So initially I think they had, because I've read up on this quite a bit. I think initially it was all hush, hush, quiet, quiet. It's not going to be a big deal. And then once it kind of got out, they went full bore on it. And then as a country right now, they've really come together. Like they are really coming at this. They're not taking it lightly. It's a big deal.
Well, that's good.
It is very good.
The whole world's looking at them.
The whole world's looking at them. And there's, I think, like 22, 25, 26 countries now have people that have this. America has like 5 or 6 cases or 10 or something like that.
But there's like a exponential point of infection rate. So like they're at, what did you say they're at, 90,000 or something?
They're under, well, they're
numbers, probably over 100,000 now.
They've got to be. They've easily got to be.
That's like reported.
Yeah,
ones.
that's reported. That's number one.
So it could
reported.
Be 250,000 or something.
Easily, that you don't know
and
who's sick.
That can get pretty exponential where you get into the millions.
It is exponential. It
20
really
million,
is. It could
50
literally
million, 100 million.
infect that entire section of the world. And they don't think it's going to fare as well in hot climates. So India may be spared somewhat. Africa may be spared somewhat. But Russia, China, all of that's not good for them. At least we have the Pacific Ocean.
That's good. I mean, if India is good with the hot climate, because like more, not as developed countries, and they're very crowded in India, like with the hygiene stuff.
That's if you think China's third world, India is legit third. One of my good friends went to New Delhi for a couple of weeks, and the stories he told me was just like, really, like it's insane.
And just imagine if you can't call any company for customer support.
No. Yes,
because they're all based in there.
That's what I was saying. It's a global impact.
Microsoft would have no support.
Like they're already shut down, like with some iPhone factories or something over there. It was like,
I did some sunglasses orders from iBuyDirect.
Yeah,
and they're all delayed because of that. They're like, we don't have an update.
Damn you, COVID-19.
Yeah,
kind of deal. And so it's a global thing, and it's going to affect lots of people. Will it be zombie apocalypse? No, I don't think so.
But you're a prepper.
So, I am a prepper. And
looking into chickens. You got
looking into chickens kind of deal. I got guns. I just got another 1,000 rounds of 7.62 by 39 AK ammunition, another 1,000 rounds of 5.56.
Do you have an AK?
15. Yeah, I have an AK-47.
Sweet.
It's pretty badass gun. Yeah, it's America. That's big bullets. I'm going to get another AK, the AK-101.
How much is an AK?
You can actually get a good Kalashnikov for about $700, $700.
I always thought Dragunovs are awesome.
Well, they're just manufactured. Any AK-47 in general is good.
No, Dragunov, the sniper rifle.
Oh well, that's probably not necessary, but whatever, it's cool.
Well, is an AK necessary?
Well, here's the thing.
That is a very rugged gun, though.
It is a very rugged gun. It's one of the most produced guns in the entire world as far as sheer production numbers. And okay, so I have an AR-15, all right, which is the civilian version of the military M16 for the United States and NATO. And I have the AK-47, which is the Russian and Chinese, official.
Throw it in the mud, it still fires.
Yeah, they're two completely different weapon platforms. The AR-15 is like a shiny like spaceship kind of deal, and it's got all the bells and whistles. You need an entire like staff to run it. The AK-47 is just like a beater truck. Like you throw gas in it, and it's just going to go, and you can fix it yourself kind of deal.
Yeah.
And they're just two completely different weapons. Like the AK-47, I can field strip that with no tools, clean it, and put it back together right here on your kitchen table without any tools. To do the same thing with the AR-15, I have to have like 5 or 6 specialized tools. Taking it apart is like this jigsaw puzzle of which comes apart first, and it's a very high maintenance, very specific weapon. It's a good weapon. It's very accurate. It shoots very well. It's very easy to. The AR-15
way more accurate than the AK.
It's easier to shoot.
Yeah.
It's essentially it's a big 22. The bullet it fires it's a 223 round, which is
223.
It's slightly bigger than a 22 long, which is a very tiny bullet, but it's got more oomph behind it, and it's a heavier grain. But to shoot the gun, you'd be like, boom, boom, boom. Like, you don't really know it. There's no kickback. It doesn't hurt. You can just squeeze off 30 rounds. Like whatever. No big deal.
Yeah. You
shoot one bullet out of the AK-47, you're like boom, like oh hello, like boom, and then like you put out 30 of those, and it's like ow, like that's got some kick.
And it's like bye $20.
It's about 27 cents a shot.
Oh, okay.
That's where we're at right now. When you buy 1,000 rounds, that's what it works out to. But so two completely different weapons, but. I went to Marengo Guns with a good friend of mine, Jared McGuire, a couple weeks ago, and we wanted to look at some guns and some stuff. And so you may think I know a lot about guns and have like this dude knows he knows all the guns.
Yeah.
Like this Marengo has 200 plus guns like on the shelf. Like they have another 300 or 400 long rifles. You can pick up any weapon. He can tell you about it, which is cool.
Jeez.
It's very cool. So my initial philosophy was to get a handgun or a rifle and of all the most popular calibers, like a 9mm 40 caliber, 357, a 44, 38,
223,
all of it.
Yeah. 30-06.
all of those things, which that really hurts to shoot, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
That took my shoulder out and I shot one of those.
50? Are you going 50, bro? Are you going to deagle it?
No necessary reason to have a 50 caliber rifle. None.
Well, not with that attitude.
No, not unless you're trying to take out civilian transports, 2 miles away.
You have all yours. I have my deagle.
You have your reason. Fine. Hey, what's legal? If you want one, get one. But his philosophy was kind of like my philosophy with trucks. So I have 3 Chevy trucks, and I know all about the Chevy trucks from like the last 40 years. I can work on them. And he made a very good point. Is like you can be a collector of guns kind of deal, or you can specialize in a weapons platform and know all about that gun.
Sure.
And he kind of like opened my eyes to the thing. So I'm just going to stick with the AKs kind of deal. That's going to be my go-to survival weapon.
It's like 700, you said, right?
Yeah, it's like 700-800. They can go well over that depending on what you want to trick them out. Sure. But that's what they average. You can buy them used too. Mm-hmm. And it's a totally legal weapon. It's not an automatic weapon. It's still semi-automatic kind of deal. And the same thing with the handguns. Kind of, I'm gonna stick with 40 caliber and 9mm, and that's in Smith and Wesson. Like
that's actually what I got. 40 and 9.
There you go.
I got a 40 HK S&P.
Yeah, nice.
And I got a 9 Glock.
Nice. Good for you.
G42. G42. A little single stack.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
good for you.
Just
a little guy. Good for you. So that was kind of my philosophy with that. So in the broader picture of prepping. So for those who don't, a prepper essentially is what I am. There's many levels of that. Is somebody that wants to be prepared for what I would call a grid down situation where, the lights don't come on. Yep. For whatever reason, like there's a tornado, you're down for like in July 5th, like 15 years ago, the power is out for 3 or 4 days. There was a huge storm coming through, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
I was lucky; my power came on within a day. That was cool. But that's kind of what got me started in the whole thing. I was like, the lights don't come on, and that's kind of a big deal. And I was like, oh, that sucks. So I kind of broke it down into categories because there's only so much time in your day, and there's only so much money in your wallet to do the things you need to do. So there's categories of stuff that I focus on. So some of those categories are, well, we talked about guns. So that would be self-defense. Okay. So that would be the guns, and not only guns, but, self-defense techniques, knowing your environment, knowing your neighbors, knowing the city, all of those things come into play. And there's food. So there's food collection, there's food stocking, and then there's food growing. So in the long term, so you can stock food. That's cool. And then you can also, at some point have to grow food.
Yeah.
You can't stock all the food. At some point, you're gonna have to grow food.
Have a garden. You gotta have some chickens.
Right, you got the chickens out there.
Shout out to Helen, Rita, Donabelle, and Luann.
That's awesome.
Greg's Eggs on Facebook.
There
Give
you
a like,
go.
please.
They take things that you generally don't want to eat, like bugs and grass, and they turn that into things you do want to eat.
Yep.
Eggs.
And so you can do that way where they're just foraging all day and bugs and grass and all that. And they do that now. But we also buy the bougiest chicken feed we can get.
There you go.
That's it's got fortified with oyster shells and all these omega, like everything they want.
Yeah.
And legit, we can tell a difference in the way their combs look.
Yeah.
They're more like fluffy and bigger. They're not more shriveled up because of the cold. And like they look.
They're getting better diet.
Good looking chickens. Yeah.
Good looking chickens. But when the SHTF shit hits the fans in a Teowaki situation, the end of the world as we know it, Teowaki, for those of you who don't know what that means, they could live off eating up bugs if they had to.
I don't have to feed them.
You don't got to feed them. They sort themselves
Give
out.
them my scraps and bugs.
Scraps and bugs, throw them some water. They're good to go, and they provide you with food. So that's cool. So that's food. Then there's another, most important one is water. Like, how long can you live without water? Not very long.
Rainwater collection?
Rainwater collection.
Like
I don't have that set up yet, but it is something I'm working on. I do have water stored at the house, so that's cool.
It's illegal in California.
It's illegal in a lot of states to collect water. That's some bullshit.
Kind of weird.
It's very weird. The city and the municipalities don't want you hoarding water. They want to sell it to you because that's the business model they work off of, which is terrible. If it comes out of the sky, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want with it as far as I'm concerned. So there's that. But so there's water collection, there's water filtration. Like, what are you going to do if you got like some dirty ass water out of the rain gutters? Are you going to drink that or are you going to die? Well, I'm going to drink it. So I have water purification systems at home to do that.
What kind of system you got?
A Berkey.
So what is that? Is it like it's a charcoal? How many stages you got? It's not RO, right?
No, it's not reverse osmosis. It's basically a drip down mega charcoal filter that can filter, I think, like 50,000 gallons or something before it fails. And it's some of the, honestly, the best water filtration you can buy. Period.
So that'll get particulates, but what about like
you could pour
pathogens,
swimming pool water into it? You can
viruses.
It takes that stuff out too.
Down to that level of
literally
micron, huh?
Everything. Like this guy took water out of the gutter.
So when we go camping, I have a bottle that's got a like heavy UV light on the top, right? So that's just going to kill stuff, but it's not going to take out your particulates.
No, it's not.
So what I do is we double down. My friends have, the packs that you squeeze and they filter through all the different filters. So we do stage 1 of that, and stage 2 we do the UV of mine because we've drank some yellow weird water before and it's fine. It was very like coppery. It was weird.
Yeah, well, there's metals in there. So if you are in a survival situation, you can put water in a glass vase or jar or whatever and put it on your windowsill, and the natural sun will blast out a lot of the stuff in there anyways, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But you also
could boil it too.
You could boil it too.
Filter it, boil it, you're done.
So that comes into 2 other topics there. So food preparation. So how you going to cook food. Like what are your gas sources going to be? Electric's out unless you have solar, like a lot of solar or wind, which is not happening in Rockford.
I want to get solar, by the way.
I've looked into that. You can do that. There are still energy credits for it. Let's see your house. That's
I don't have good roof for it.
South. East, so you got a lot of.
It'd have to be on this far edge of the garage.
You want it facing on the south side. Yeah, I've got a lot of big trees in the way, so I'm actually gonna have some giant walnut trees cut down so I can do solar, which actually falls into wood. I can burn wood. That's probably the only local energy source that you're gonna find to burn to cook. I mean, you can store up LP or propane. That's cool. That'll eventually run out. So wood's always available. How are you going to cook inside your house with wood? You're not. So I looked into adding direct vent furnaces on my house that burn wood kind of deal. It's not exactly, I don't want to say it's illegal. It's frowned upon in the city of Rockford, and it's dirty because you got to burn wood. Yeah. But you can buy these furnaces for $300 or $400. I'm actually thinking about welding up some of my own kind of deal. It's on my list to do.
Get a carbon monoxide detector.
Yeah, that's very important. I want to be burning fuels inside the house. I actually researched why natural gas in the house is cool to burn, but propane is not. What's interesting is
it burns a super high percentage.
You can actually use propane inside as long as you're maintaining the proper burn ratio. You got to, it has to be perfect flame.
That's why it has to be a blue flame on the stove.
You got
if you get yellow, you're dumb.
You're dumb. That's an incomplete burn. That's where carbon dioxide comes from. Yeah. So natural gas, the actual natural gas supplies will last for months and months and months, but they have to pressurize those gas lines with electric to get it to your house. So I read up on that. You have 1 or 2 days supply of gas from your actual gas kind of thing.
Let me put you on to something really quick. I want to ask you something. So we have gas lines coming in our house. Why don't people collect it into their own tanks?
What, like natural gas?
So like I have a gas line coming to my house from my stove.
Yep.
Why don't I put a T on that bitch and like have it come in and have a little pump and put it into my own tank. And then when it's off, I shut off my main and turn on this one.
But you have to pressurize it.
It has to be the correct pressure.
Well above.
It's going to be an expensive system.
Yeah.
But I bet you can do it.
You can do it. You can actually by all means take that gas.
And you can buy it pretty damn cheap.
It would be cheaper and more cost effective just to buy propane tanks. But
I like the challenge.
It's definitely a challenge. You could do that. I actually sent an email quote to Hinckley Gas in Belvedere about getting an LP tank buried in my backyard, and then everything got back to me. Like they never even responded to my email.
They're like, there's another prepper.
Like, seriously terrible. Like 500 gallons of propane. That'll last
one
a
of
while.
those people.
Those guys kind of deal. But I think it'd be neat to live like outside of the city limits where you could do solar more effectively. You could do wind.
You basically do whatever you want.
Do whatever
Go off
you
grid
want
if you want to.
And I watched a show on the off grid to continue the prep. There's this community in eastern Canada, and they live on this island, and there's no power, there's no electric, and it's all self-sustainability. Like, these people have all the things to live off grid, like everything, like windmills, solar. They collect their own water. They have some really cool ass houses the way they do this stuff, and they love it, and it's great. But the actual people, I'm like watching this documentary, I'm like, these people are boring as fuck. Like, they're not fun people, put it that way, you know.
Right.
So I like being around people and all that. So living in the city works out well for me, kind of deal. So what I've been trying to do recently is trying to imagine, like, it's the apocalypse. Today is the apocalypse. That's cool. Like, what am I doing today? I want to be able to maintain the somewhat same level of life as I do now. So I've gone as far as like not done this yet, but I want to put like 55-gallon drums of water in the attic and plumb that down to the spots where I would need it, so it would gravity feed to where I need it to go. And then you can have gray water collection for washing clothes and things like that.
So you can do collection off the roof.
Into that kind of stuff.
You just need to like tap off the gutter kind of.
That's all you would need to do. Yeah. It's really fairly straightforward.
Because you already have a collection.
I've already got it on the roof. It collects right there. But again, there's only so much time in the day to do these things. And today, I spent taking Steve's motor out of his second boat.
Why did he buy a second boat?
To switch subjects. So
what happened to his first boat?
Well, he bought this boat for $150 with no title, and it turns out that didn't work out because he can't get it plated, essentially. So he can't boat. So that's the other boat, and I took the 305.
So you're just yanking the engine.
Yeah, I took the engine.
It's
a spare part. He wants the engine as a spare parts thing kind of deal. So
it's
basically,
a 305, huh?
It's a 305. Yep, 5 liter. And that he's also going to take the hull. He's going to take this boat and make it the other boat kind of deal. And we'll let that be. Kind of deal.
All right, Steve.
That's all right, Steve. So that's his thing.
I didn't figure Steve for a guy just to.
Well, he found out what happens. When you buy a boat with no title, the hard way, you got to buy another boat with a title.
Yeah. Jeez.
So there's that. So that's a little bit about prepping. So I guess, okay, so Mike, what does that mean? Like, it's kind of daunting. Like, where do you start? Like, what do you do to prep? I guess if that's something you want to get into. The first thing I started with was water. And you need to have water. I mean, that's the number one thing you got to have. And how do you do that? Well, you can do it lots of different ways. You can get 5-gallon jugs, from the home store. You can fill them up, put them in your basement. You got to figure it's going to be a gallon a day minimum per person.
Yeah, because you're cooking and everything.
Because you're cooking. And
so you could do 50 ounces if you just want to do drinking.
If you
but
want to live.
You got other stuff to do.
Yeah. I mean,
you want to wash your hands.
Turn the water off for a day in your house and see how many times you go to wash your hands or use it and you're like, holy shit, I use a lot of water.
Or carry a gallon of water with you hiking 8 miles into the forest and you need to cook and drink and everything with it and watch when you're like, crap, I need more water.
Yeah, more water. You're going to spend most of your day getting water because you use it for everything. Washing your hands, cooking your food, making the poo go away. These are all things that water does.
Because I refuse to live without a bidet.
Yeah.
When it's the apocalypse.
So you laugh, but if the water don't go, like, and you got a family of 4, like, where's all that poo going? Like, you got to make that go away.
Yeah.
That's
dump it in the toilet.
It causes sanitary problems. That's what kills people. So it's just me and the dog. So she has 4 months of dog food set aside for her, which is cool, you know. And I also ask myself, would I want a dog in the apocalypse? I don't know. Yes, no. There's pros and cons to that.
Yeah.
So
you want the alert system.
The alert system. It's a good.
You're not going to have
good system, but at the same time, it's telling other people, hey, there's a person.
Yeah, but other people, you don't want to mess with the dog.
Well, they're not going to mess with my dog. And I look at my neighbors, honestly, and I am not... all of my neighbors would last, I don't know, maybe like a week.
Yeah, especially when you're eating them.
Tastes good. A little salt
you're
on you.
Scoping people out now
Seriously.
already. Like, let's see, I don't want to dig into my food rations right away.
So you got to figure, okay, so on that note, you got to figure, okay, you don't want your neighbors knowing what you got, right? Because... society devolves very quickly when the lights don't come on. And people are like, oh, no, it won't. Sure it will. Like if you're a father and you got, a wife and a couple of kids that are hungry and it's day 3 and all the food's gone, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And the way I see it playing out is initially, if there is still government left, they're going to be setting up camps. Essentially, they're going to be run by the Army and the National Guard, and they're basically going to be just giant camps where everybody, I don't know if you're gonna have a choice to go or not.
Spreads
well,
coronavirus.
And that's the deal. So most people are going to default to leaving their homes and going to where the government says to go because they don't have a choice. Like, what are they going to do?
They just go loot their homes.
And then I go loot their homes, absolutely, because that's martial law at that point, and essentially the law is what you make of it, because there's no police. Essentially, there's still police in those zones. There's no fire. There's no hospitals. There's none of that. That's all gone. That all goes away, and when that stops, people it's like The Walking Dead.
Now, do you think? Put a percentage on what you think this is going to happen. In your lifetime that you're going to have to do any of this?
In my lifetime that I'm going to have to actually rely upon my wits and my stuff
to this level of martial law, though.
To this level of martial law.
Not just like the power going out. Martial law.
Martial law. Well, okay, so I'm 42, right? Let's say I double that. Say I live to 84, whatever.
No, I'm giving you 88 in this situation.
88 in the situation. Okay.
Because you don't want to go past that.
I think the more time goes by and the more we fuck up our planet with climate change and the more we rely on fossil fuels, the greater the chance of something terrible like this happening, because I really do. I personally think that what will happen, it's not going to be... Climate change is going to fuck everything up. Don't get me wrong. It is going to happen over time if we don't change our things. But that's a very slow burn.
Yep.
That's not going to be, tomorrow's climate change, we're all screwed. Probably not, It is going to mess things up if we don't change stuff. And, we're working on that. There's a million trillion tree initiative, blah, blah, blah. They're kind of working on that. I did the math. You'd have to
Till those catch on fire and release all the carbon together. But anyway,
you'd have to plan.
What percentage?
What percentage do I think? In my lifetime, 50%. I think
50?
I think there's a 50% chance that shit hits the fan and that's it. And do I want it? I don't know if I want it to happen or not. Honestly, I kind of do, because I'm tired of everyone... bullshit, honestly.
Just being their self-absorbed life.
Yeah, life is hard, and people are complaining about all these things they shouldn't complain about because the lights come on. People, right. I mean, that's good stuff. So what if you don't have the latest phone or you don't have the coolest stuff? What?
Status things.
I don't know. It's just, I think the planet deserves a break kind of deal, and nature has a way of sorting that out. So I do think that, the COVID-19 virus is a big deal, and it's going to mess up things in the near future. It's not going to be a game changer, I don't think, but I do think that if you look at the amount of viruses and epidemics that have come out of China in the last 15 years, this is number 3. So they had SARS, they had MERS.
Yeah.
that just keep coming out of China because they're eating things that you're not supposed to be eating. Kind of
do
deal.
they know how it started?
This came from bats. So bats were being eaten in general in China, and someone got sick from a bat, and
contagious.
And it's super contagious. So it's not good. So they eat everything over there. Like literally eat everything. And there's so many people jam packed in spots over there that, one person gets sick.
Taste for meat now, and bats,
and snakes, and all these terrible things. So
I'm going to put out a little bit more optimistic estimate, and I'm going to put it in my lifetime at 3%.
3%. Wow, you're way more optimistic than I am.
Yeah,
good for you. I mean, I don't want that to happen. So I guess in ranking, like why these things happen, my number one thing is going to be a pandemic. I'm just going to go with that. Famine caused by global climate change. I think is going to be a big deal. That's not going to be immediate. A pandemic can change the game in a year.
Thing is, like, if something major happens, which it absolutely could, to the internet or our grid.
That was number 2 for me. Grid down caused by solar flare, massive solar flare.
Yep.
Which is actually very common. It happened, I don't know, in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
And it fried all of the telegraph stuff. And that shut things down. And they only had telegraphs for not a decade or so, but that was the main form of talking back then, and it fucked everything up.
And the people that were preppers then, good to go.
Well, people in general back then were inherently already preppers. They had to supply their own food and all their security and water and everything by themselves. We've taken that away as we become a Walmart, Home Depot society. The average person has no idea how food gets to their table. Like the processes it has to go through to wind up on their plate is just so far. They're so far removed from all of that. Like you flip a faucet.
It's delicious red meat. It's not.
It's right there. It's right there. I have no idea how it got to your plate. You push a button, the lights come on. You push a button, hot water comes out of the thing. You push a button, the poo goes away. You just got to push these buttons, and it's good. You pay a bill.
Not in this house, okay? I see Luann with her butt pucker and run into the coop, and then I know in an hour I'm gonna have a fresh egg.
There you go. Well, that's so you are still
where
connected.
The food comes from
hand to mouth. So you have part of that.
Did you say from hand to mouth?
Hand to mouth. Wow, I love it. So it's just people don't know, man. But back 100 years ago, 150 years ago, people were all preppers. They didn't have electricity, and electricity is a recent thing.
Do you have a dehydrator?
I do not have a dehydrator.
So I got a Nesco one that has 8 trays.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dude, I got more expansions for it because making beef jerky and just drying everything. When I do my garden, dry up all the fruits, and there you go. Obviously, it's going to take more of your water out to eat it, but who cares?
You got to preserve food somehow.
And it can stay for 6 months or whatever you want to do.
Dried food and salted food and pickled food. That was the thing that
take it old school.
I've looked into. I have books on how to do that. I haven't done it yet. I was going to salt meat and I was going to pickle meat and all that. I just haven't got around to it.
That's right. Yeah, you just put meat
in a jar
steak and salt.
Bunch of salt in there and
because moisture is what gets it.
Yep, and it just soaks up all the juice, and there you go. We got fucking dried food. So, so I think pandemic number 1, grid down situation caused by our shitty electrical grid system, which is just terrible. Honestly, it's not.
We
good.
need neighborhood solar systems, like my neighbor, other neighbor. We want to go in on solar.
Yeah,
tie our grid so we can do a cutoff if we want to.
You're not going to be able to pull it off in Illinois or in this latitude or longitude.
Well, they told me I couldn't pull off chickens either.
Well, they still technically you can't. It's not a matter of can you; it's a matter of legalities.
Yeah, but it is a matter of I'm doing it.
Well, so you mentioned what you're talking about is an electric co-op, and you can get away with that in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas because the sun is obviously a much bigger deal down there.
Yeah.
But there's more open space, and more people are building communities to do just that. So. Good. It's called plantation living or co-oping.
You know what's cool is if it does work out and I do end up getting this Cybertruck, maybe.
Are you seriously thinking about getting one of those?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Why
not? It's got a 220 in the bed, right?
Okay, yeah.
240, yeah. 240 in the bed. So I can do a break and plug it in my house.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I don't know the exact specs, but I know it's going to be at least 240 by 50 amp. So I can do many circuits. Well, it's going to be at least 150 kilowatt hour battery.
Oh, wow.
So over a day of doing the whole house.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So to take that in comparison, so your $50,000 Cybertruck ish, roughly.
Yeah, around 50.
I have a $500 gas generator at home.
No, yeah, well, that's converting fossil fuel to energy, but this is a vehicle, but
that has
in a
used
pinch,
fossil fuel to be converted into electric.
Yeah. I mean, that's old hat argument, but it's overall, it's still better off to do this cost wise. Especially if you get solar. It's crazy if you get solar.
Well, solar.
But if you buy energy from the grid, even if it's burnt in coal, it's still less fossil fuels than actually gets buying gas.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that. That's fair.
But my point is not that that's saving so much because you have this big ass truck, whatever. Yeah. It's just cool that if the power goes out in the near term, you can plug it in a few circuits in your house and run the stuff you need.
I got this gas generator and we used it camping over summer, and it ran, shit you not, 8 hours a day for like 3 days, like 16.
Is this an adaptive generator?
No, it's just a little Predator, quiet generator from Harbor Freight.
Peak, 3,000?
13.3 amps is the total output. So it
was like 2,500 watts, maybe.
Sounds
probably
about right. Yeah,
because I got a big one and it's 5,000.
That's not a big one. It can't run a fridge. Like I tried it to run my fridge, and
so it's probably 1,000 watt.
It was like. Whoa.
So you have those, and the cool Honda ones that are really expensive.
Yeah,
those will adapt based on the load.
Yeah.
So if you're running 300 watts on it, it's gonna go real low,
cool.
And it'll extend that gas
Less
and run
gas.
a really long time.
Good.
Where my 5,000 watt one, it's gonna burn through a gallon an hour.
But you also got to think about what do I need electric for really?
Well,
let's say it's the apocalypse. What do you really need electricity for?
Short-term things, because you're not going to run your fridge now.
Your fridge is a lost cause. Yeah. You might as well just turn it off because it's great. So you got some food for a week. Yeah, that's cold.
You're better off digging a hole 20 feet down and make a little box in there you put your food in.
I have looked into getting some of the chest freezers and setting up a solar system that's just enough solar to keep a chest freezer going.
That's cool.
Because when it's downstairs, it's already 60, 65 degrees. And once it's cold, it's cold. It doesn't take a lot to keep going. So
and those are insulated really well.
They're insulated really well. So conceivably, you could run a chest freezer off of solar indefinitely.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Because even if it could just run during the day with sunlight and then off at night, it would still just carry through the night.
It's going to stay cold. You're not
opening Especially if you have a bunch of crap in there that's already frozen.
Full of food. Yeah. It's going to keep itself cold. So that's realistic. But what do you like? Lights? No, I got candles. Maybe to charge flashlights
and stuff.
I have crank radios for ham radio and all that stuff, but honestly there's not a lot of stuff that you really have. Computers are done.
Everyone's electric now is basically entertainment.
It is. Do you need it to survive? No, honestly I don't. You don't really have to have electricity in a survival situation. It's convenient,
right?
But why? What do you like? Lights? So what? You get so it's dark. So you go to bed early. You get a candle. You can make candles.
Candles, and you can read for entertainment.
Yes, people. That's another thing on the list. Entertainment. What do you do? Do you have books?
So you're getting books?
I have some books. I have a lot of books upstairs that I need to be reading, but they're there in case the apocalypse comes.
You're waiting.
But you can find books anywhere. Everyone's got books to find.
You'll get that on your loot runs.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 20 years of Playboy stacked up in my upstairs, so there's plenty of reading material up there.
That's not a lot of reading.
/ bartering equipment.
Yeah, that's bartering. That's basically cash in the apocalypse.
You got to figure in the apocalypse. There's not going to be.
Everyone's going to miss the internet.
Yes, they're going to miss the internet. There's not going to be a gamut of pretty ladies running around that have makeup on and that have shaved and that are clean and smell nice and shower. That's going to be what? What's a pretty woman look like? Oh,
so
that's
your
what
1976 Playboy.
Yeah, that's going to be worth some money. So you're hey, I'll trade you 3 days food supply or some bullets for that. So really, electricity is honestly not something you have to have. So keeping the truck battery charged. So I have the monster truck, right? Okay, cool. So in a survival situation, what good is this monster truck going to do me? It's basically going to be a one and done thing. It's going to be gassed up, and if it has to be turned on and ran, it's going to be go to somewhere, and that's it. Yeah. It's not going to be running around getting groceries or taking a trip to the mall. The truck is there to get from A to B, and whenever the gas runs out, that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
kind of deal. So it's not like I need to stockpile a bunch of gas or whatever, because let's face it, you're not going to be driving around.
It's going to be the same for my vehicles then, because I'm not going to be able to charge anyway.
Yeah. And one of the biggest tropes that just, God, I wish they would get away from, and all the apocalypse movies, pick one, like especially Walking Dead, they're like, oh, we'll just get siphon some gas out of this car. You know, it's like 5 years after the apocalypse. Gas doesn't last that long.
No, it'll run, what, a year tops? A year and a half.
I have gas in a gas can with stable.
Gas
I put stable in it. And it's gone 18 months, and it still works.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's the exception.
Yeah, it's gonna run like crap.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, let's just get gas. You know, the gas goes away.
Yeah,
people.
it's pretty dumb.
So you're not driving all around in cars, honestly. So it's you can bug out, you can bug in, basically.
So what you're saying is, 5 years into the apocalypse, I'm better off because I can go in and just rip batteries out of all these cars, put them in series, and charge my car up and get like 30 miles range.
I don't think you're going to be worried about driving anywhere in the apocalypse because honestly, where are you going to have to go? Like, you're going to have to stay within a short range of your home, honestly, to defend it and do your things kind of deal. So, I don't know. Do I want the apocalypse to happen? Part of me does, part of me doesn't. You know, I like having hot water and, you know, video games and stuff too. But I don't know. I think I have a skill set that lends itself well to survivability kind of deal, and I don't know, I kind of want to use it sometime down the road. I don't want the apocalypse to happen. You know?
We'll still be friends during the apocalypse.
Sure.
We'll barter.
Sure, we will.
I mean, I know where you're at, so I'm gonna jack all your shit.
So you bring up another good point, and I've thought about this too. Is like people know
you're a prepper.
my friends know I have a prepper and I do this stuff, and I'm like, who is not gonna knock on my
up.
door?
You messed
like,
up talking about it.
Well, they already know.
Loose lips.
My friends already know, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it's like, who do I let in my fucking house? Like how hardcore do I have to be? Like, do I let everybody in, nobody in, somebody in? Like, how do I choose? I can't feed everybody, and sorry for you, I guess. I mean, I'm by myself in life, and I sort myself out. Everybody I know, everybody has a partner. Everybody's married or gonna be married or has a boyfriend or girlfriend. Think about it, honestly.
Wow, bro. Wow.
Just saying. You guys all have yourselves to rely on kind of deal, and there's two of you. So it's just me looking out for myself, essentially, kind of deal. So I might be able to throw a handgun out here to somebody or some bullets every once in a while or some beef jerky. Here you go. But
I'm not looking for handouts, bro. I'm just saying that I'm going to give you some eggs.
See, that's
and
where...
what are you going to trade? That's what I'm saying. We're going to be friends.
Literally where I was going with that. It's like...
I'm not looking for handouts here.
Or handies, because none of those are happening, but...
No. Jesus.
So it's literally, what do you bring to the table? Like, what's your skill set? What are you offering me? What are you bartering? Why should I give up my life-saving items to you?
Yeah.
Kind of deal. And it sounds trite and it sounds terrible, but...
No, but you're putting yourself in this situation.
Yeah, I want to live.
That's a real thing that you would do.
Yeah. I want to live. I want to help. I want to help people because I'm a helpful person. But at the same time, I feel like the parable of, like, what was it? The squirrel that collected all the nuts, and then like the grasshoppers or whatever that weren't collecting food for winter, and then whatever, they all got screwed when the winter came around.
Have you seen The Walking Dead where they got the terminus?
I did. That's where they eat the people.
Yeah. So similar to that, like, I'm going to make sure that everyone knows that they can be safe at my house, and me and Amanda will be fine.
And then eat them.
So if you want to barter for some solid steaks,
wow,
I got you.
Mental note. It's people. It's people.
Soylent Green.
It's people. I often wonder, like, how would people eat people? Like, would it come down to that? Like, I would probably starve to death. I don't think I would eat people.
Oh man, see,
I really don't.
Now you make me seem weird.
I'm not that hardcore. It has to come to a point where life has to be worth living. You know, there's surviving, but also you have to have life, quality of life. Even in the apocalypse, you have to have quality of life.
It's very simple: calories in, calories out.
Just calories. Eat it. Eat your people. I don't know. I think you probably have to pass.
You don't anthropomorphize your meat. Okay?
Oh my god! You just imagine eating people. It's terrible. Like those soccer players in the Andes.
I don't know, man. I think you're just thinking about it too much.
I do. I have to have something to think about. Honestly, like, what else am I going to think about? Like, whatever. I've been doing a lot of home modeling projects and working on stuff and getting shit done, and you know,
it's good.
It is cool. It's just gives me something to focus on, kind of deal.
I'm just working on my boxing and wedding planning and house projects.
Yeah. I might go throw axes on Saturday.
There's a place in Rockford now.
Yeah,
axes?
right by Oscars.
I saw it on Facebook, I think. What's it called?
It's Mad Axe or Axe Mad or Mad Axes, something.
That's cool.
It's pretty neat. It's like 20 $20 for an hour per person.
Do you think they'd be upset if I called them and I said, listen, sounds awesome, but I have to ask you a few things really quick?
Gotta ask you. I'm sure they've never heard that. Like, I got my
probably
own.
you just hear click.
Click. I got another axer. Oh my God. I bet they do that there too. I'm gonna do that now when I go there.
Did you say actually?
Actually. Actually, I could ask you a question. I've never thrown an axe, and I'm looking forward to doing it.
I have.
I've never done it.
I've actually done it in my backyard.
I bet you have. I've never done it.
I had an old picnic table that I made, so I put it up against the telephone pole back there.
And you're all like, whoa.
And then I have my Gerber camping hatchet axe, and just, dude, I got it. Where I just crush it.
I think I'm going to be good at it. I've watched people do it, so I'm like, how hard can it be?
It's just getting the rotation down.
Yeah.
It's like not really how hard you throw or how you kick the spin.
It's got to be.
It's just like you get a feeling for like, oh, I threw that, and then you know in your head like I over rotated a half
distance.
So then you know the next part that you're not rotating a little bit. You got it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Sweet.
Awesome. Okay, so
is that everything? If not, well, let's do it again.
Yeah, I guess we can talk again in the future. I've covered all said items on your list and my list, and then some.
So, dude, are you coming to my wedding?
Most likely, 50% chance. 50%.
Can I borrow a sub?
Again, 50% chance.
Those two things are not related. I was
At
just
all.
asking both.
At all.
No,
I'll
even make it work. I'll get one. I gotta get one somehow. So
it'll be fine. If I'm not using them, then I'll hook it up for you.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, Party Mike. Till next time. Later, man.
Later, G-Reg.